stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, we go party till we black out. So get the fuck up. So cover and duck, you're out of luck, we don't give up. Yeah, we're going up, next floor is us, you're riding with us. We want you to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, we go party till we black out. So get the fuck up.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe. And I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift
speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport here for your action this evening. We are at the famous Suzuka circuit, and we are here for the penultimate round of the Formula 2 Championship. Lucas Roth, and if he gets in, that Bozzy boy will make their 100th appearance this evening. But who will do what? That is the biggest question. Who will come out as champion tonight? Dan can win it, but will he be able to hang on in there from Big Boy Brazier? Jamie and Forsey both retired from qualifying, so that is an interesting start already there then, as we head into the Suzuka racetrack. On board with A. Smith, currently your provisional poleman at the moment, with PN in second and Sooty Apex back tonight. Let's run you through the current championship standings as they are at the minute. Unorthodox leads the way by some 53 points from Big Boy Brazier. He's 3 points clear of Gary, but they need a great first race to stay in the fight for the second race. Forsey cannot win it. He's on 120, being caught by A. Smith, but is 39 clear at the moment. PN just behind him in sixth place, with Lucas Roth 2 points off the back of him. Mazda then on 51, but we won't see Mazda again this season. Craigie on 9th place, 43 points. Fury in 10th place, no Fury tonight. Leon Fernie, no on him tonight neither. Just as he was getting to grips and getting good results. Rabbit Joe down in 12th place. He could get above Fury and Leon Fernie tonight. Smokey Devil, he could also jump them two with some good results. DJ Phil Green in 14th. He's in Switzerland. Exit Tibbs has been out at a race today. I think he's been racing himself, and that will see him in for this one. We'll see him miss this one. Bozzy Boy 7th, Sooty Apex 5th, Bryn with 5 points, and Bryn a bit further down as well. As hopefully we're going to get someone in for this second race. We might have someone, it might have Dean Wusocki coming in, might miss the first race, but will be in for the second race then. As it is, PN Motorsport on pole position. That is his first ever pole position here at Simplay Motorsport. So what a job for PN Motorsport to take his first ever pole position, and that, I think, even for him, was unexpected, and I don't think he expected to come away with it. So for PN Motorsport there, an absolutely fantastic job from him to take pole. And it's PN from A. Smith, Craigie, Lucas Roth, Sooty Apex, Unorthodox, Smoky Devil, Rabbit Joe, Gary Forsey will be the top 10. Jamie Brazier will start 11th. Gary then will be on that front row of the grid for the sprint race. For the feature race, he'll be behind Unorthodox, which is not really where you want to be. But either way, PN Motorsport already taking a pole position to his name, and is going to make life hard for that man Unorthodox then going in to this one. His first ever pole, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted to get his first pole position off the mark and to, you know, just go ahead with that one. Can he take his first win? That will be the all-important question here. Can he take his first win? He got his first podium back in F1 at Simplay Motorsport. Can he take his first win here at Japan tonight then? Forsey had to want my mum with dinner, sorry, he says. As the poll in the chat, will Unorthodox win the title tonight? 3 votes currently in say yes to that. So 2 said yes, 1 person would have said no. We are waiting to get ready in this race, and I think Dean Wusocki has missed the first race, and I think that Buzzy Boy will also miss the first race, meaning that he will not make his 100th appearance. Here we go then, on the grid, and it is going to be Forsey who will lead them all away on the formation lap, as Sooty disqualified for making contact with another car. So it's Forsey from Gary, Rabbit Joe 3rd, with Smoky Devil 4th, Dan 5th, Sooty 6th, Lucas Roth will be 7th, Craigie 8th, Smithy 9th, PN 10th, Jamie 11th. PN will be on pole for that for that feature race, the bigger race later on, as Dan and a few others just driving past everybody wanting to get on with it. So we're just getting the formation lap underway and through all the preparations, and then it will be go here at Suzuka. Who will win the sprint race then? Gary 131, Rabbit Joe, Smoky Devil, or Unorthodox. Let us know who you think will win the first race of the evening. Who will come away as the top dog tonight here? Can Dan claim his 6th championship and his first championship that isn't a GT3 or a GT category, should I say? Week's break next week before the final round of the season at Australia, the Melbourne circuit then, as we head, as myself and Dan not here to be able to stream, unfortunately. Dan away for sister's birthday. I am at commentary. I'm in Switzerland commentating on Racing Unleashed once again, so again, check them out. Come and give me your support. Second weekend on the professional commentary journey then, as we are getting ready to go here. And it's going to be Gary 131. You expect Forsey to pull to the right and retire. We're green in this race. He's actually got going as Forsey in this one and covers Gary 131 off already. And down the start straight, they all come to the sweeping right-handers of turn 1 and turn 2. Gary gives Forsey a little tap up the rear and further down the standings. And Joe, Unorthodox, has already got himself past Sooty Apex. There in the background is Lucas Roth, Smoky Devil. And that is A. Smith getting his elbows out with Big Boy Brazier, a pole sitter. Currently sits at the back and Rabbit Joe has took a spin and down there as well. Had to take avoiding action. I do believe he's lost out to Lucas Roth and is losing out to Sooty, Smoky, Craigie and nearly A. Smith. But Rabbit Joe, a bit of a spin and already is tumbling down the order. Look at this gaggle of cars. Unorthodox and Big Boy Brazier find themselves past Sooty Apex and the championship rivals having an awesome battle already here. Gary's taken the lead of this race. Smoky Devil is ahead of A. Smith in the background as well. Yellow flag sector 2. I'll tell you what I forgot to bring up. I forgot to get up all the information. So that's what tyre everybody's on. There's the lap data, and in terms of the track map, we've got a full map as A. Smith has had a big off somewhere and he's back down the pack as Dan, Forsey and Big Boy Brazier all going wheel to wheel. Craigie's up to third with Lucas Roth in second place. Dan and Jamie trying to get through. This is on board Jamie with Sooty Apex in the background then trying to get past Forsey and Unorthodox a bit further up front. Is Jamie going to look out now and have a look as they come for the first time towards 130R, a 21 lap sprint race. Everybody's got mediums. Jamie's going to stick a nose up, backs out of it. No, great move up the inside of 130R, and Forsey tumbles down the standings. They got a break for a chicane, and look at Sooty Apex under pressure from Smoky. Tries to go around the outside of Forsey, gets the inside line for the second bit. Great move from Sooty Apex there as Forsey is going to dive into the pits at the end of lap 1, and it's Gary from Lucas Roth from Unorthodox who's got past Craigie and has Jamie Brazier now attacking Craig up the inside. Jamie too much curb, manages to hold it on the grass just ahead of Sooty Apex then. So a bit of a slide there for Jamie, and that has cost him a lot of time. But for Dan, he can hunt after Keegs. Craigie up in fourth. Great result for Craigie at the moment. Lap 2, yellow flag, sector 1. That is A. Smith, who's had a problem at the S's once again then. And he's struggling here. Smokey, what's happened to Craigie? Craigie's had a moment. That's coming out of the Degners. And Craigie's had a moment. So he's dropped down to P9 now, putting Jamie on the back of Dan, who Dan is gaining on his teammate here. With Gary already nearly 5 seconds up the road. Dan then can see his biggest rival in his mirror, and Jamie is going to want to come at him. Sooty Apex trying to defend from PN Motorsport and Smoky Devil, who's the car behind him. No rain expected in these races, I believe it said on Dan's stream. I just had a quick look. As into the chicane they come now. Gary, once again, fastest lap of the race. Unorthodox is getting awfully close to his teammate, and I reckon Carlin there have played the team orders card as DRS is now open. They are side by side, and Keegs lets Dan go. How much is Keegs going to be a rear guard for Unorthodox with Jamie Brazier flying in this early stages of the race? Gary, 5.6 seconds up the road. Will that mean he can go in this race? Here then comes Dan and Keegs. Jamie now on the back of Lucas Roth. Lucas Roth in the feature race will make his 100th appearance. Bit of a wiggle for Lucas Roth there. Yellow flag, sector 1. That is Rabbit Joe, who through the S's has got it horribly wrong, and hopefully Craigie doesn't have a collision with him. Joe gets going and stays ahead as here comes Big Boy Brazier up the inside of Degner 1, and Jamie's through at the Degners. So Keegs could not keep Jamie behind him for long. Oh, Keegs a bit hot on the brakes, taps the rear of Jamie, loses a bit of an end plate there. Dan to Gary, 5.4. Dan to Jamie, 2 seconds, just under. And with a DRS detection zone just before the chicane, Jamie will want to find 7/10 from somewhere. Might not be able to do so, but will want to find it from somewhere. PN's close to the back of Smoky Devil. Let's go and check that one out then. Here's PN, 7/10 of a second, as Dan slowly gains on Gary a little bit. But Gary then has got it all easy out front. Gary, another fastest lap of the race. Lucas Roth choosing not to pit, stays out on track. Jamie not in DRS owner Lucas Roth. Lucas Roth to Jamie though. No DRS yet, I don't think. That's who might have been outside it for that detection zone. PN, he has DRS. The rear wing is wide open there. And he is coming, yellow flag sector 3. And what has happened back here? I think Rabbit Joe's made another mistake. Smithy has. Into the gravel for the 2. Gary's off! Gary's off! On his own! And Jamie comes through. Keegs comes through. Sutty comes through. Gary had this race in his control, in his power, and he's made a mistake again. In the F2s, Gary has struggled. PN on the back. Craigie's had a moment. Oh, Joe's out of the race. What has happened to Rabbit Joe? He's off there. That is a big off for Rabbit. Yellow flag, still no safety car at the moment. Sedan from Jamie. Lucas Roth's fell behind. Then it's Sutty Apex. He's gapped Smoky Devil some margin here. And Smoky Devil now on his own. Gary on the back of that looks to be Smoky Devil, and Gary's going to get this one done. Yellow flag sector 2, that was PM Motorsport, and Gary, easy as you like, up the inside. Job done for Gary, 131. And Rabbit Joe then will get a P11 in this race. Shame for him. As Jamie Brazier now, big boy Brazier, fastest lap of the race. This man is charging. So Jamie now really trying to catch. Gary is in the pit. Did he have some wing damage then early on, because he's pitted, and that has put Gary down to P9, and Gary's championship hopes is probably going away from him here. Out the pits he comes slowly. He's going to be behind Forsey. Top 8 score points as Unorthodox then leads this race. Big boy Brazier 1.4 behind him. Lucas Roth has Sutty Apex right up his gearbox here. And we're going to get, while Rabbit Joe's had a crash, we're going to get Rabbit Joe in the commentary box to just help out with commentary. Allowing me to take a quick breather. Yellow flag sector 1 again. That is now Forsey who's had a moment. He gets back going now, and Gary has had another spin of the S's. You couldn't make this stuff up. Gary 131's title defence, title chances are going down the drain. As here comes Sutty Apex looking for a podium in this sprint race. Through 130R they both come, and he's still on the back of Lucas Roth. Pulls out of the chicane. The master of the Sutty Send It cannot get one done there. As big boy Brazier now on the start straight. What can he do down here? He's going to try and look to make up a few places and get Dan to keep this championship fight alive in this one. We're just going to get Rabbit Joe in, so bear with me for 2 seconds while we just get Rabbit Joe in the party. So we'll hopefully get Rabbit Joe in. Sutty Apex still behind Lucas Roth here. And for Big Boy Brazier, he's just as close to Dan as what Sutty is to Lucas Roth. Lucas Roth, 100th appearance in race 2. And for Sutty Apex, he's just happy to come and score the points then. As Rabbit Joe joins me now. Joe, what happened there?
What happened? Honestly, man, I don't know. I saw, I think it was Craig off in front of me, and I hit my brakes, but I think I must have touched the grass, and it sent me off into a wall.
Well, unlucky for you in that race, you're able now to just sort of help us on the cameras or on the commentary sort of thing. But as Jamie here, will just come away from that. He's going to look to go the outside way of 130R and just tap the rear of Dan a little bit there. And Jamie forced wide from that move with Dan. Sutty Apex, is he going to look up the inside? No, backs out of that one. And what a camera angle as they come through 130R. As Sutty now hard onto the brakes into the chicane. Cannot get it done. Keegs has gone a little deep though. And Sutty, he's a clever man, but can't make that move stick. Jamie though, down towards turn one, swooping right-hander. He's going to look up the inside. Dan gives him that little bit of room that he needs. And Jamie, can he take the invitation? No, he can't. Joe, you've been in a party with Dan tonight, I'm taking it. What's the mood with Dan tonight? Is he up for this championship?
Yeah, he's seeming quite excited for it. Definitely ready to give the challenge out to all the other drivers.
Dean Wasocki in there as well, I do believe. He's open to join us for race 2.
Yeah, he's not said loads, but he's definitely in there ready to join us for...
And have we heard of anything of Liam yet?
Not quite yet, as far as I'm aware. I'll double check on Discord and stuff, but...
Yeah, fair enough then. So that Aussie boy will not make his 100th race in the second race, but big boy Brazier is wanting to A, get another race win, and B, he's wanting to take points away from his championship rival. He is right up the gearbox. He pulls out now as they come round the left-hand bend. He's looking to stay around the outside, be on the inside for Spoon, and I tell you what, big boy Brazier, great move there, he's lost the rear, and Jamie goes around at
getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition, only first place and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate, game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies about that one. We are back and ready to go. Apologies for that. Network cable came unplugged yet again as Forsey here and Smithy. Look, Forsey up the inside of Smithy and into turn one he goes. That is job done. But Jamie, Joe, we was just saying before that for Jamie Brazier, he's really messed this one up.
Yeah, I saw him go off there. That didn't look pretty for him. So he's definitely got the rest of this race to get his head down and catch up back up to Dan and give him that fight, and maybe he can take that place.
He's got to do something in this race then, as there is a yellow flag sector 1, and that once again is Gary 131, who's made another mistake. There then to Dan from Jamie from Sutty Apex, Lucas Roth, Smoky Devil, PM Motorsport, Craig E, Forsey, A Smith and Gary. The ART boys are not having it their own way, and Jamie's got 4.6 seconds to make up here. Joe, it's going to be tough for him with not many laps to go.
Yeah, we're halfway through the race and I don't know what the lap time difference is, but that's a big time to gain for only 11 laps left.
Sutty Apex closer to the back of big boy Brazier than unorthodox 16. As we come to the midway point of this race, lap 9 of 21. These tyres, everybody on the soft tyre, on the medium tyre, sorry. Gary's pitted, as did Forsey. Smithy nearly a lap down to Dan. And for Big Boy Brazier here, he's got Sooty closer to him than he has to Dan, but he has gained 2/10 over Dan on this lap. And at the minute, Joe, you'd have to say that Jamie looks like he's got the quicker car underneath him.
Yeah, he's got the quicker car, but it's all about consistency, and hopefully that can help him out. Maybe not this race, but hopefully next race. You never know, Dan might make a mistake.
Now, obviously, 2 former Pro-Am champs in this commentary box tonight. Season 5 Pro-Am champ here, and Joe, you the Season 4. You're making your return to GT3s next season.
Yeah, I thought, let's come back, give it another go in the GT3s, have a bit of fun. Because obviously I've done 2 seasons of the more, stewarding behind the scenes, and I see the racing week in, week out, and in a way it makes you miss it. Yeah,
no, I completely agree. From when we started Simplay, I missed racing, and I get what you're saying. Obviously, you're in the ACC. You look good in the ACC as well, a 4th and a 5th. Shame to miss Thursday, but you look good in the ACC at the moment. Obviously, 6th in the championship, I think, when I did the tables today. And in that trusty Porsche, is that a car you're looking at for the Thursday night GT3 Season 7?
Nothing's officially confirmed yet, but I do like the Porsche, is what I can say.
Obviously, Season 4 Pro-Am champ. It'll be great to see Joe back out there on the grid, and obviously we hope to see Joe a week on Thursday at Catalonia for ACC, in which was a good first half an hour. Dan described it. I've not actually watched the stream back at Poracar, but a good first half an hour, and then the pit stops happened and it all changed. Now, Sooty Apex has made a mistake somewhere, because he's dropped behind Lucas Roth and has got Smokey Devil right on the back of him, and that is A. Smith, who's made a mistake coming down the start straight. Joe, has he got going yet? I don't know if you can flick to A. Smith and tell us if he's away, but Sooty now starting to gap Smokey Devil.
Yep, A. Smith's just got away. He's all good.
So A. Smith out of trouble, and away he goes here. Then another yellow flag. We've lost A. Smith just as we say he gets going, and that then will bring out the safety car. Now, what do people do on terms of tyres? 11 laps left in this race for A. Smith. Not the race he'd have wanted here tonight, and he has struggled in this one so far. Joe, 11 laps if you're Dan and you're leading this race. What do you gamble? Do you gamble the pit stop? He is, in fact, so we don't need to answer that question because he's just answered it for us. Is this the right call?
I was about to say, where does this put Dan and Big Boy Brazier in terms of positions and what they can do and fighting? But if Dan's made that pit call and Jamie doesn't, you never know.
Well, Dan's pitted. Keegs thought about pitting there with the looks of it. He will take P2 away. Sooty Apex might get ahead of Dan here. It's a long pit lane, and Dan not yet out of it so far, as Sooty and Smokey are coming down the start straight. There goes Sooty, there goes Smokey. PN nowhere near. So Dan, he's got fresh mediums, but he's got to clear 4 cars to get to Jamie. This could be Jamie's big advantage now to score points and gain on Dan in this championship fight.
100%. I mean, mediums or last year the whole of this race, so with Jamie starting on mediums, he didn't need to change tyres, and I don't think Dan needed to change tyres either. And coming out on fresh mediums is a challenge, I found. You've got to give them a few laps for them to...
Ah, there we go then. So... And with the fresher tyre, it'll take a bit longer to get them in a good window with the used rubber, as Craigie gambling the soft tyre. So Gary now back in the points, and this massively helps Gary 1-3-1 out. Gary back in the points, Craigie on the quicker tyre, but less durable. The problem is, or the bonus he's got is, he's only, every lap the safety car's out, that'll help his soft tyres get to the end. Big Boy Brazier behind the safety car, as is Lucas Roth. Sooty Apex is pretty much there. Smokey Devil with them as well as Unorthodox. And Joe, 3 cars between Dan and Jamie. It's a tough ask for Dan to get through, because this track's very tight. I can't get my words out. Very tight and twisty. It's going to be hard for Dan to get past.
Yeah, and not only have you got the tightness of the track, you've got to be careful of all the corners, as you've seen maybe me spinning off if you take the corner too much. So you've got to be aware of other drivers potentially making that mistake, and yourself if you wanted to overtake someone.
Lucas Roth and Sutty Apex then. Well, I'll tell you what, Dan's job has just been made a bit easier because Lucas Roth and Sutty have both come into the pit lane. That's an interesting strategy call. They've lost out to PN. May lose out to Forsey. I don't think they'll lose out to Gary and Craig either, but may lose out to Forsey here. And that's an interesting strategy call. Sutty has jumped Lucas Roth in the pits as well, though. Both going the soft tyre. There goes Forsey through. Gary 131 might split these two, you know. Let's keep your eyes out for Gary. There is Gary. And Lucas Roth coming down the pit lane. Sutty is now away. And Gary, he's past Lucas Roth, you know. So Lucas Roth and Sutty losing many a place, but are on that quicker, softer tyre. And all that does is it leaves Dan just to clear Smoky Devil before he's on the back of Big Boy Brazier. But we said earlier, Joe, Jamie looks like he's got the quicker car underneath him. Now he's ahead of Dan. Does that help?
Yeah, that'll definitely help, as soon as Jamie's not got anyone to pass. He's got Claire air in front of him, so if he can get his head down and he can keep that quicker pace, he can kind of just plod along, and Dan's still got to get past Smoky Devil. Anything could happen there.
Anything could happen there, as we're on lap 12 of 21, so we have 10 laps to go. Gary and Sutty, what are they doing? Because Gary's just got past Sutty, it says, and now has tucked back in behind, and an interesting little battle. Right, so we're waiting for the pack to catch up. Sutty Apex then, and Gary. Sutty's the next car to gain on the pack that is just going through Spoon. And Sutty's got to use most of them soft tyres to get back on the pack here, and then he'll be able to save the tyres when he's on the pack, as Craigie will be the last call. I don't think we've had a warning for the safety car to come in yet. Still a bit of time though for Jamie to back the field up, as Sutty now can see the pack coming through 130R. Sutty lifts off massively into it, and here we go. Emplava maybe a little late to the party, but better late than never indeed. And great to have you here. Evening to Smithy, Mother Davis, PM Motorsport, Forsey, Peaceful Stepdad in the chat, Nicky as well. Someone say that Dan one punched a hippo in the nuts, and he taught his dad how to ride a bike at the age of 2. All we know is he's called unorthodox. Well, at the minute, your man not having it his own way. Lucas Roth on the back of the pack, and Craigie will be as well. So I reckon, Joe, that by the time Craigie gets onto the back of him this lap, we'll be going racing next time around.
Yeah.
Dan going for his 6th championship here tonight, and his first that's not a GT, or doesn't have GT in the title, should I say. For Jamie, he's looking for his 2nd championship. For Gary, he's looking for his 3rd, and another one that doesn't have GT in its name either. The pack perfectly bunched up, and we await now Big Boy Brazier to get going when the safety car allows them to come in. Penultimate rounds of the Formula 2 Championship. Lucas Roth will be on 100th appearance in his next race. The feature race will be the big one for him. In terms of race wins, Jamie can be one step closer to Fury and Dan. Gary can get himself on that magical 25th race win as we head in to the mid-stage point. We're actually in the back end of this race, Joe. We've got 9 laps. We'll have 8 laps to go when the safety car comes in. And Smoky Devil, the chink in Dan's armour at the moment.
Yeah, the main question is, do you think Dan can get past Smoky Devil and then give Big Boy Brazier that fight to the end and make it?
I think that's an interesting question. I think based off what you said, that Jamie's mediums are going to come in quicker than Dan's because they're older. And I think Dan's got to get Smoky Devil done before turn 1. Because otherwise, them S's, Dan's going to find it hard to get through. Safety car is in this lap. Jamie Brazier now then will back the pack up, and Smoky Devil is right on Jamie's exhaust pipe. He wants to get on with this. Dan leaving a bit of space towards him and Smokey. The problem Dan has as well is would PN lunge into turn 1 to make a move on unorthodox? Jamie giving that safety car some time to go. And when does Jamie think of dropping the hammer here then? Through the chicane, the safety car is in the pit lane, and Jamie, I wouldn't surprise me if he goes now, and he does go now, and what a restart. Smokey Devil caught napping, and Dan not exactly close to the back of Smokey Devil like you'd have imagined then. So Jamie underway on lap 14 from Smokey Devil, and Dan, I said he's got to be close into turn 1, he isn't close enough. PM Motorsport from Forsey, PN all sideways, hangs onto it, and Forsey right around the outside, job done for him. Sooty Apex has left Gary for dead as well. He's coming up the inside of PN as Gary's trying to go around the outside and follow Sooty through. Inside for the next bend, job done. Lucas Roth now trying to muscle past PN, and PN onto the grass has got Craig up his inside now. Bit of contact made. PN on the grass has a bit of a wiggle, has a spin, and PN got bullied out of that position. Yellow flag sector 1, but for Dan, he's still not past Smokey Devil, and this is where he's going to find it increasingly harder, Rabbit Joe.
Yeah, I'm just watching Dan and I can see he wants to get it, but Smokey Devil's keeping
up the inside of the hairpin, and that's great move, bit on the curb. Smokey ploughs into the back of him. Forsey's now here with the party, as is Sooty Apex. Forsey's past Smokey as well, and for Dan there, a bit of a lunge, but job done.
I mean, it's the job he needed to do, and now he's got 2.5 seconds to...
Oh, contact Lucas Roth on Gary, and Lucas Roth round. An optimistic move from Keegs, and it has not paid off for him in this one. And like Joe says, 2.5, Dan's got to get to Jamie, but he's on them fresher tyres.
Yeah, maybe if he gets those fresher tyres up to scratch quickly, it might work out better for him. We never know, because they do have that warm-up, nice, and then cool-down phase.
Oh, look at that, Gary 131 sending one on Smokey, and he as well has now gone round, and Craigie will get past. Gary coming back on track. Lucas Roth will get back ahead of him, and PM Motorsport isn't close enough. But the problem Dan's got, Forsey on all tyres, he's charging. Sooty Apex is the man to watch. Fresh, soft rubber, which will get him to the end of this race, could be a nuisance for Dan.
100%, no matter what, soft soil is going to be the nicer tyre, and especially with this being so tight and curvy, it might give him better grip through the corners, and if he's in clean air, maybe faster lap times.
Well, Jamie, 1.9 to Dan now. Catching's one thing, passing's another. Forsey a little wide. Yellow flag sector 1. That, once again, is Gary 131, who has made another mistake then and is struggling. His title chances are pretty much gone in this one. But Sooty Apex right on the back of Forsey. These two are just allowing Dan to stretch his leg on his fresher mediums that was coming to Dan. Sooty wants to clear Forsey as quick as possible to get them softs to take its advantage and work. And Dan is slowly chipping that time away to Jamie Brazier. Gap back up to 1.8. I think Jamie does have the quicker car, but Dan, with that better grip now with newer tyres, fresher tyres, is massively helping him out. Down towards Spoon, on board Sooty Apex here, then you can see Forsey and Dan. Forsey just back under a second to Dan. I wonder if Dan made a mistake through Spoon somewhere, because Forsey back under a second, but we've had a safety car, so there'll be no DRS for another lap. And under braking, Sooty trying to get Forsey done, looks round the outside, now comes to look underneath. Sooty all over the curb, and he's really taking the fight. DRS now enabled. Jamie has that gap back to 2 seconds to Dan. Definitely has the quicker car underneath him, and Sooty Apex only one DRS zone at Suzuka. Forsey showing Sooty the outside line, and Sooty will patiently wait for that to reopen. As Forsey here might be better off letting Sooty go and letting Sooty give him the DRS down the start straight. Was Joe, Dan's tactic not really working here. 2.5 as Dan made a mistake somewhere, because he's just dropped to 2.6. He's now 8 tenths off the back of Forsey. Joe, Dan making a few mistakes, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the tyres taking the time to warm up, or if it's just one of those laps, but it's definitely not helping him in terms of catching time to Jamie with 5 laps left.
Now, Sooty Apex again attacking Fawzi. He's going to look the longer way around. He's going to try and cut underneath and use that better traction of the soft tyre. He can't cut underneath, though, because Fawzi gets that done an absolute peach. And now, Dan just back over the second he needs to Fawzi for the DRS zone. This is the closest battle on the track at the moment. And Dan is starting to pull away from Fawzi, but he's now 2.6 to Jamie. Jamie will gain 2 points plus fastest lap if he keeps the fastest lap over Dan. So 3 points maybe at the end of this race, and then 3 points will keep him in it for at least the feature race. As Sooty to the outside, 130R, gets a nose alongside, but runs a little wide as he backs out of that and realises that Fawzi is far enough in front. The bonus for Sooty, heavy on the brakes, just taps the back of the high-tech car. The bonus for Sooty is, even though he's lost a bit of time there, he's going to have DRS. Fawzi 2 seconds behind Dan now. Here comes Sooty, though, with DRS. That gap under 2 tenths. It's under a tenth and a half. It's under a tenth. Fawzi's gone defensive. Sooty round the outside. Can he make it stick? You know Sooty Apex can, and Fawzi now becomes the aggressor. Craigie has just got past Smoky Devil as Gary sets a new fastest lap.
Yeah, well, now we've got the potential of maybe even Sooty providing pressure to Dan, and what does that do to Dan's racing catching Jamie?
Exactly. As Lucas Roth then is going to try and want to get on the back of Smoky Devil, needs to find a bit more time, as that is Craigie, who just got past Smoky Devil. He's now had an off. And as Gary 131 has struggled through the S's, most drivers have struggled through the S's today. Gary back into 7th place. Fawzi sticking to the back of Sooty a little bit here. Sooty has gained slightly on Dan this lap, though. The problem for Sooty is time is running out, and you know Sooty's going to have a go at Dan. Lucas Roth 2 tenths off the back of Smoky Devil. What can Lucas Roth do here? Down towards Spoon he comes now. Craigie on the back of Gary. Lucas Roth pulls out, has a look, can't get it done at Spoon, so tucks back in behind Smoky Devil. And Dan's gap to Sooty just gone up a little bit more. To Jamie, it's just come down a tenth or 2, but Jamie doesn't have to worry. Great exit, Lucas Roth, and as they come to 130R now, side by side with Smoky Devil. And Lucas Roth, you heard him lift on board there, backs out of that to stay behind Smoky as they come to the chicane, excuse me. They will have DRS on Smoky down the start straight. Fawzi, though, he's got DRS on Sooty Apex, but it isn't getting close enough. Sooty on their mediums just working. Smoky, you feel, is going to lose out to Lucas Roth down the start straight. And here he comes, Joe. And that on the inside line should be as easy as you like for Keegs.
100%. He always had that in DRS on the inside line.
Yellow flag, sector 1, and that is Sooty Apex, who loses out to Fawzi now. And where is Lucas Roth? He's coming as Sooty rejoins. Lucas Roth has to get off the power there before going into the back of Sooty. So Sooty, his pressure of Dan has now come to an end, and he's now under pressure from Dan's teammate. And Dan may be sitting pretty thinking, I'll take a second place in this race.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the race, you may as well try and stick it out comfortable and not make those mistakes and take second place, because it's not that bad. It's good. Great place to be.
Great place to be in. It will give Jamie yet another race win, and Gary will not be on for his 25th race win at the moment. Lucas Roth, though, 5th place on the back of Sooty, and Sooty having that moment could have scrubbed his soft tyres a little bit here. Here is Lucas Roth, who is trying and trying to get on the back of Sooty Apex. Will have DRS at the start line. We're about to start lap 19. Jamie's coming through the chicane now. Dan is bringing that gap down. You have to say them fresher tyres of Unorthodox are just doing the job he needs here.
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing his time go up and down, so they're definitely helping him now. Just... is it too late?
Well, he posts the fastest lap of the race. That will only mean that Jamie will gain 1 point over Dan in this race, not the 2. As here comes Lucas Roth. DRS up the inside into turn 1, and Keegs gets that move to stick. P5, Sooty tries and fights it around the outside, but cannot do it. Lucas Roth, P5 here then, but as Sooty Apex now crawling all over the back of him. While Smoky Devil's dropped off the pack of these two, he's falling into the clutches of Gary. Dan with the fastest lap. Probably I don't think Jamie's going to have anything left in the tank now, but that gap coming down to 2 seconds. Joe, Dan is starting to come at Big Boy Brazier here.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing his car and he's bringing down time fast.
As it goes back up just through the corners then of the hairpin corner. On board Dan, yellow flag sector 2. That is Gary 131 yet again. Off and in all sorts of strife. Gary 131 has had a nightmare race. Your pole sitter PN down in last. But he'll be on pole for the feature race. Jamie 2.2 to Unorthodox, who's got 4.1 to this man Forsey. He's got 9 seconds to Lucas Roth, who's got 7 tenths to Sutty. And let's watch Sutty through 130R. You'd imagine that Sutty Apex will be coming out Big Boy Brazier as Jamie now does the fastest lap, so takes the point back away from Dan, and Dan says no you won't because I'll have it straight back off you. Sutty late on the brakes, right up to the back of Keegs, messes up that second part of the chicane. Will have DRS though, just stayed within inside the DRS range, and here comes Sutty then in DRS. His tyres may be a bit more worn than Keegs because of that spin he had, but he's not able to gain on Keegs much at all. And Jamie answered back with a fastest lap. Jamie span! He's in the wall! And when he didn't, he knows that that's Forsey who's done the same mistake and somehow drifts it round the outside of Jamie. And when Jamie had it in the palm of his hands like Gary did, here's threw it away.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie must be beating himself up for that. I know you've got a lap left, but not much is going to happen in that for him to gain enough time to get that P1 back.
And with him down in third, Dan fastest lap, race leader at the minute. Jamie's going to lose even more points to Unorthodox, and this is going to cost Dan massively. Gary's just got himself back ahead of Craigie. He's got to try and make up as many places as he can. Sutty's losing out to Lucas Roth. But for Big Boy Brazier, both Gary and Jamie this season have just made too many mistakes where Dan has been consistent and kept it on the road. And this is what is going to help Dan out in this championship in terms of winning it. The fact that Jamie and Gary have made too many mistakes. Coming to the chicane for the penultimate time in the sprint race, Dan will surely be the man to beat.
100%. I mean, all Dan's got to do is ride it out now for a lap.
He'll only lose to himself, Joe, won't he? If it's him who's got to make the mistake now.
It's his race to win.
And at 7.5 seconds to Forsey, he's got the gap to stay well in front and not make that mistake. And just that downshift there you hear from him. And he just looks so patient coming through there. He's not pushing at all. Jamie's got to push to get past Forsey this lap.
100%. I mean, you don't want Dan to rush, you just want him to chill it in a way. It's not going to lose that time to have Forsey pressure him.
Gary 131 gaining a couple of tenths on the back of Smokey Devil. Now Smokey very slow through here compared to Gary. And Gary then really starting to put the pressure on for P6. It will be a few more points for Gary. But can't find a way through. Last lap of the race. Gary looks to the outside of Degner 2. Can't get it done there. Yellow flag sector 2. That is Lucas Roth who's had a moment. So on the last lap, Sutty Apex will gain P4. Smokey has been passed by Gary now and is too far behind Lucas Roth. In fact, Lucas Roth is very slow.
Maybe he's run out of fuel.
I think Keegs is out of fuel against him. He's lost out to Gary and Smokey. But Dan then to the chicane, and he's going to win the first race here tonight. And Unorthodox 16 with the fastest lap on the last lap takes the race win. It's going to be a P2 for Forsey and a P3 for Big Boy Brazier. And that for Jamie isn't what he wants to see. Sutty Apex will come across for a P4. Great result for him. Gary 131, who has had a terrible, terrible start tonight, will somehow come away with P5. Smoky Devil, no Leon Fernie tonight. He's going to get a P6. Craig E will also be in the points, P7. I think he's out of fuel as well because he's awfully slow. PN Motorsport is going to cross the line for that final point of P8. Lucas Roth, no points in this race with a P9. And that then is all she wrote. Lucas Roth, he's going to struggle to get to the line here. I think he is out of fuel. And he's not even going to he's not going to slow down for that chicane. He's got 10-second tyre penalty. I don't think that's going to matter to him. I think it's just going to be about getting to the end here. Well, Gary 131 needs a mega feature race to stay in this championship fight. Dan needs to outscore Jamie by 5 points to win the championship. We'll be back in just a moment for the feature race. Don't go anywhere.
Getting hyped when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate.
So, apologies here, chat. It would seem it's not put me back in as a spectator when we've rejoined. It would seem it has put me in as a racer, but we will retire. And, yeah. We will retire and we will bring you the spectator's point of view when we can go. So, you get to enjoy a warm-up lap from me. I'm on the pad, so bear with me. But Dean Wysocki is in the race, so we are up to 12 drivers. And this is where PN Motorsport ends. So there's Rabbit Joe, he's going to start P8. Lucas Roth will start P4. Dean Wysocki will start P12. Then in what is Bozzy Boy's car, but he will be P12. And it's saying no rain expected. So are we expecting some rain in this race? As we go up the inside of Dean there. There's Jamie, who is going to be P11. Smoky Devil then is going to be P7. I'm just trying to get through so we can show you the grid. Smoky Devil's going to be P7. Forzy is going to be P10. Craigie is going to be third. PM Motorsport will be in the lead of this race. He will start from pole position. And then, of course, Gary Smithy. Gary Smithy, unorthodox, also on the grid. We didn't get to see them. So we will get this ready to retire and ready to be back in. But who will win race 2? PM Motorsport from the front of the pack. I can't remember what the grid order actually is. So we will try and bring that as best we can to you. Let's go unorthodox. Let's go Big Boy Brazier. And then let's go Forzy as well. Here we go then. If only Murray done a formation lap at the British GP. That would have been fantastic. I don't know what's happened here. It kicked me out of the server and then it's brought me back in as this. So we are going to retire as soon as possible. The race now starts. The race gets underway. We've retired from the session. The camera needs to hurry up and change so that we can get away. We are missing some action up front. The camera's still not changed. Here we go now then. So Dean Wysocki down in 12th. It's A. Smith who leads this race early doors. He's gone very, very wide. And this will allow then everybody else to try and get past him. He's very slow. Dean's up to 11th. Now up to 10th. Will score his first point. Craigie leads from Lucas Roth from unorthodox. Sutty's into 4th place. Smoky Devil 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Rabbit Joe now P5. Smoky 6th. Jamie 7th. Forzy 8th. Gary's down in 12th. What has happened to Gary? 131. Not the start he'd have wanted here. 18 people currently watching the stream. Guys, girls, don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. We are 2 subscribers away from that 350 mark. ACC a week on Thursday. It's Dan looking up the inside of Craigie, and Lucas Roth on his 100th appearance here is now in that box heat of winning this race. Will Dan let him have it? Sutty's into 3rd, and that is Craigie in the back of Sutty, in the back of Rabbit Joe, I think, well wide. Jamie now up into 5th place. Smoky in 6th. Forzy's now 7th. Craigie off. PN's up to 9th. Head of Dean Wysocki, who's had a moment. Gary 131 and Smithy look very, very slow and don't look themselves at all tonight in this one then, as here comes I'm trying to think here who here comes. Here comes Lucas Roth and Dan. PN's past Craigie. Further down the pack, Sutty Apex within 3/10 of Dan unorthodox. Will they make the move on each other? Let's see. Top 10 score points, let's not forget, in this race. As Sutty looking down the outside of an orthodox there. And does he try and get that move done? I think he will. You know, he's got nothing to lose. Can't make it stick. Dan gets that place back. Looking down the other places then. Lucas Roth fastest lap. Craigie on the back of PN. Gary now on the back of Dean Wysocki at the moment. So Gary trying to make a few places as well on Dean. Gary already though in the pits. Early stop for him. So Gary in, Dean Wysocki in, Craigie in as well. A. Smith carries on his way. It's Lucas Roth from unorthodox from Sutty Apex, and this the battle for the lead with Big Boy Brazier and Rabbit Joe having a bit of a scrap in the background as well. So a good little scrap for these as well. Top 10 score points, don't forget. In this one then. So 3 rounds left to go. This one, 2 in Australia, which will come not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. As Jamie sends one up the inside of Rabbit Joe, and that is job done. Dan as well has got past Lucas Roth, who's trying to fight him back a little bit here. Sutty Apex looks interested in this, and Big Boy Brazier is not far in the background as well. He'll want a sniff of this opportunity and a chance to try and get on the back of Sutty. Sutty Apex is on the back of Lucas Roth and pushing him through Spoon pretty much. Joe and Big Boy Brazier are coming. Yellow flag, and that is Craigie who's pitted and a span around. Dean has made his stop, as has Gary. They'll have to do another one though. You've got to do a minimum of 6 laps on these soft tyres, or on each tyre compound. Lucas Roth a little wide at 130 out, and Sutty looking up the inside of Lucas Roth. Currently on the podium, Forzy and Smoky Devil have just exchanged places. That is job done there. Jamie, this is his view of the leaders as DRS will end this lap. Who's going to go? Who's going to get the DRS to do what next time around? Jamie, though, is going to try and look up the inside of Sooty Apex. Is he going to send one? No. Doesn't send one on the master. So the top four pretty much together. Dan now being allowed to pull away from Lucas Roth a little bit and stretch his legs. And he's going to want to just get out in front. He can win the championship this race and can get the job done. Jamie, though, has Rabbit Joe attacking him back here in the background, and that's Lucas Roth off and manages to not get hit by anybody. Rolls it onto the gravel and stays well out of the way. Yellow flag, though, and Lucas Roth well off. That's helped Sooty and Big Boy Brazier out massively, and Rabbit Joe. So for Lucas Roth on his 100th appearance, yellow flag sector 1-2. I think that's PN who's had a moment. It might have been Jamie up the inside of Sooty Apex. No, that's Rabbit Joe up around the outside of Big Boy Brazier, and Joe gets the move done. So for Dan here, able to stretch his leg, and his biggest rival is under immense pressure from the rest of the pack. Joe wants a podium as much as Sooty, and Sooty now being allowed to pull away from Joe. Forsey trying to stick to the back of this group as well. And this is Jamie's view. As they come to 130R, Jamie just lifts off and stays behind Rabbit Joe. Is he going to look to the outside of the chicane? No, he's not, because Joe covers it off absolutely beautifully. Yellow flag sector 1. Dean Wasocki then has had another moment, and he is off as Dan puts in the fastest lap. DRS opens for Big Boy Brazier now, and you'd imagine Jamie here, although Joe's got DRS on Sooty Apex, and Jamie has to get a move on here, and Joe's gone a little wide at turn 1, and that then gives Jamie the room up the inside that he needs, and that is job done. Joe now under pressure, or coming under pressure from Forsey, who got a great P2. He couldn't believe he got P2 in the chat for the first race. Here he comes on the back of Joe for P4. Forsey having a great championship at the moment as well in the ACC League. And for Rabbit Joe, he's got a lot of pressure from Forsey here. Yellow flag sector 1, that is A. Smith who's had a spin. Forsey has got past Joe out the Degners. Will Joe keep it up the inside at the hairpin? No, he will not. So Forsey lost a bit of time to Big Boy Brazier, but has got ahead of Rabbit Joe. Now Sooty Apex, 2.8 behind Dan, but has Big Boy Brazier hassling the back of Jamie's car. Dan has checked out. Dean Wasocki once again back in the pits. He could make a lot of pit stops tonight. Nice for Dean to fill in as well, so thank you very much, Dean Wasocki, for that. Yellow flag sector 1. Gary has now had another moment, and his championship has just gone from him tonight. He needed a good result to stay in the title fight. It hasn't happened. And for Big Boy Brazier here then, he is hassling the back of Sooty, and here comes Jamie. He'll have DRS. We can't see. Both camera angles aren't showing us. So there goes Jamie, DRS wide open, and has passed Sooty Apex. And both camera angles here didn't want to show us that fight. Dean Wasocki a lap down now in the pits, but Jamie can hunt after unorthodox. Joe try and stick to the back of Forsey as Dean now exits the pits, right behind that of Lucas Roth. So Jamie, 3.5 to Dan, needs to close that gap down. Sooty's already outside the DRS range, but look at Forsey here, flying at the minute and charging onto the back of Sooty Apex, looking for another podium. Jamie just taking some time out of unorthodox here, gap down to 3.3, and Forsey, is he going to look at the hairpin? Sooty defends that, and Joe gives Forsey one heck of a clout up the rear. How no wings fell off the front of Rabbit Joe's car, I do not know, but that has compromised both drivers. Jamie's left Sooty for dead, and that has compromised both of them too. PN within a second now of Smoky Devil. And for PM Motorsport, he's going to try. We've actually just lost Smoky Devil, so hopefully he can get back in. It'll be a shame to not have him in for the rest of this race. As here then comes PM Motorsport. This should be an interesting overtake. 5-second penalty again for ignoring yellow flags. That's not true. So that one will be removed by the stewards. There is no yellow flags about for Smoky Devil to ignore. And for PN Motorsport then, he's going to go the inside before 130R, and PN gets that one done. Now Lucas Roth can hunt him down as Forsey, with DRS on the back of Sooty Apex here, you may feel is going to mean that Sooty's going to be a standing... yeah. He'll be standing still. Forsey up the inside, into turn 1 they go now. Forsey's ahead of Sooty Apex there then. So that is a great move from Forsey, and he is back onto the podium. Jamie has gone, but he's not reeling down in. He set the fastest lap last time around. This man, his fuel plus 1.15, may need a safety car to make sure that everything else gets going. Yellow flag, sector 1. That is Rabbit Joe, who's had another moment. He's got to wait for PN. He's got to wait for Smokey. He's got to now wait for Lucas Roth to get past. He's got to be careful because Dean Wasoki's now coming as well. Smoky Devil back in the session. And Dean may unlap himself from Rabbit Joe. Smoky Devil managed to get himself back in the car. And Forsey's got past Sooty and has left Sooty here, to be fair. Sooty's strategy, well, it doesn't seem to be working for him at all. He just seems to have no pace in this race compared to Forsey. He was a lot quicker. Yellow flag sectors 1 and 2. What is that? That's Rabbit Joe off again. And is missing half his front wing there. So Dean has unlapped himself from Rabbit Joe. Dean at the hairpin. His next rival is Craigie, who's 10 seconds off the back of Gary. Oh, and Craig just struggling there. Gary has had a night to forget. Forsey then, P3 at the moment. He is well in front of Sooty Apex, as I've lost all times on the screen now. It's not giving me a single bit of time information. Jamie's 2.7 sets the fastest lap of the race. So good stuff from Big Boy Brazier there then. For Forsey, he's 2.6 off the back, and Sooty Apex is in the pits. Now, is that a lap early for Sooty? I'm not sure. Either way, PN in. And PN will carry on his merry way now. Into P4. Smoky Devil will fight Lucas Roth here. Lucas Roth's got the DRS. He's going to try and go around the outside. They've both passed Sooty Apex and Lucas Roth. Job done. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots. I don't think we'll get to say it about Gary tonight, as Sooty Apex is now down to 7th. Will A. Smith get past him as Rabbit Joe comes in to fix that broken wing? A. Smith might just get himself ahead of Sooty Apex here. Sooty coming off the limiter. In fact, Smithy's already through, look. Gary nowhere near at the moment. So Rabbit Joe and Sooty Apex leaving the pits. Rabbit Joe in the pits for a wing change. Gary will get an extra place of Rabbit Joe here. So Rabbit Joe then in the pits. He's lost out to Gary 131. He's off the limiter now. Not just yet, actually. Craigie's now got past him. Rabbit Joe now off the limiter. And Craigie up into P10. So Joe, his closest, the person behind him, Dean Wasoki, is a bit too far back at the minute from Rabbit Joe, but still in this race. For Jamie, gaps at 2.4. So he is coming to unorthodox. This the closest gap on track as well. And Big Boy Brazier then needs a big win. Dan just needs 5 more points than Jamie in this race for Jamie to still be classified. Sorry, Jamie needs to outscore Dan by 21 points. I do apologise. For Jamie to do anything, so he needs Dan to have a moment. Yellow flag sector 1. That is Smoky Devil, who's had a moment. No, it's not. It was Forsey who's had a moment then. Yellow flag sector 2 now, and that is Craigie, who's had a moment. He's off, back on at Spoon, and that'll allow Dean to get a little closer to them two then. Gap out front, 1.8 seconds. Apologies if you can hear the noise in the background. We think there's something burning outside the house. Because we can't smell smoke. We was just double checking though. and Jamie 1.9 to unorthodox. Craigie 1.8 off the back of Rabbit Joe. And Craig will try and get back into a rhythm to Rabbit Joe. Dean's 1:07 off the back of them, so he's nothing to worry about. Lap 7 at the minute. And it's very gloomy over Suzuka here. I wonder if there's some rain around. Because it does look very gloomy. I was on the grid, so I could have probably taken a look. The gap now down to 1.4, and Big Boy Brazier is coming to unorthodox. This is the closest fight on the track, and Big Boy Brazier here is doing everything he needs to do in this one. As unorthodox then, now 1.3 out. The Degners is the gap. Dean has that gap down 6 more seconds and may not have to pit here as he's pitted twice. So Dean Wysocki could be in a good place. Gap now 1.3. Yellow flag sector 1. That is Smoky Devil, who's spinning right around. Keep to the side as here comes A. Smith and Dean Wysocki as Smoky Devil rejoins. Dean just losing a bit of time to the car of Craigie in front. Jamie 1.5 to unorthodox. A. Smith now gets past Smoky Devil, and Smoky Devil will try and get that one back. Not really many battles happening in this second race. 2 weeks time, penultimate, the final rounds of this championship at Melbourne, Australia for Albert Park. Can Big Boy Brazier take the fight to Dan there? He's going to need Dan to mess up big time if that is the case. Smoky Devil still within 0.8 of a second to A. Smith, so we'll stick with this battle for a moment. Yellow flag sector 1. Rabbit Joe has now had a spin yet again in the first sector. And we've got a safety car. I can't tell if it's virtual or not. It will not load on my screen if it is a virtual safety car. I believe it is just virtual. Yeah, it is just a VSC. So for some reason it's not telling us that on my screen, but it is a VSC nonetheless. As Rabbit Joe retires from the session, so Joe's DNF'd here. So what a shame for Rabbit Joe. Has he had a problem coming through the Degners? Let's have a look. Yeah, he's gone very wide. He's in the wall. So another mistake for Rabbit Joe then. So yellow flag sector 2. We're back racing here. So Dean Wysocki now points as unorthodox then. Carries on his merry way so far and is doing exactly what he needs to do. 1.2 the gap to Big Boy Brazier. Well, that gap's actually down to 1 second. So he's actually done very well at the minute. And he's on a bit of track. So to the apex, he's trying to get back through Smoky Devil. And we've got Joe in. Joe, what happened?
That's not getting... You know what happened? Your bad luck of saying, if I crash, I should come back into commentary.
Well, unlucky for you tonight, buddy. But what this does do is it puts you a bit closer to that 100th appearance.
Yeah. One race at a time.
That's it, one race at a time. It is, though. Your that puts you on to 96, I do believe.
Okay.
No, I think that's right. I might be wrong. You'll have to bear with me on that one then. As the safety car's ended, Lucas Roth has come into the pits here. Yeah, that is wrong for some reason. It's not registered 2 of your race starts, so we'll get that one amended. So there we go. Yeah, you're on 98, so 2 away. So Luke, in the pits. This will allow Gary 131. He's got no front wing, so I imagine he's got to make his stop. Smithy's yeah, I wonder if that was drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Dean then 1 minute 8 off the back of Craig E. But this battle, Dan and Jamie, once again resumes. Is there any rain around?
I'm not sure if there's any rain. I didn't get told and didn't ask.
Lucas Roth then. Sorry, Joe. Lucas Roth out the pits has made a mistake. Here comes A. Smith to gain another place, and that is job done. And Lucas Roth, on his 100th appearance, has made yet another mistake and is down now to P7.
I think one major thing with this track is it's so easy to make a mistake if you're used to riding curbs.
Yeah.
Because these curbs are horrible.
Dan then has pitted, so does Forsey and PM Motorsport. Dan are now on to fresh softs. How long does Jamie go on his before he comes off it? We've had a VSE, yellow flag sector 1. That is... and who's now down to... and Gary is not having a very good night tonight. Dan, though, has gone back onto the soft tyre here. Oh, we've lost Craig E. He's retired now. So Dean Wysocki, on his first outing, is going to score points. Well, Dean Wysocki, I don't think he turned up tonight with the expectation of scoring points here tonight.
I don't think as soon as he got lapped, he had any expectation of scoring any. Oh, Dean. He's not going to score any points.
Oh, he's not. He's DNF'd P11. What a shame for Dean Wysocki then. So he's P11. Craig E will get the point then for P10. So that is all she wrote in that one then. What a shame. But we have a safety car here, Joe. And Jamie gets a free pit stop.
Yeah, Joe can put his tyres on. He won't need to go in. I don't think Dan's pitted, has he?
Dan's just pitted. Dan has literally just pitted. So that has not worked for unorthodox at all there.
But arguably, it may not have done major damage because they're both going to be side by side on new tyres.
This is true. So, this is true. Sorry, there's just a problem with the spreadsheet at the minute, which I'm just trying to sort out. It's not worked out everybody's points properly or their race start, so I am trying to get this one done and dusted as quick as possible. Now, this is why we've got Joe in here. He can help us out as well. In this one then, so that so Lucas Roth has definitely not made 21 race starts here. He has only made the normal amount. Apologies, ladies and gents, for this one. We will be back with you as soon as possible. Joe, though, Jamie's took his free pit stop. Look, he's on the medium tyre and he's on fresh tyres at that as well.
Yep, so he's got the nice fresher tyres to Dan, but it's been safety car, so there's not been major wear on Dan's tyres. Could be interesting.
Very interesting here then, as Dan will have to go and pit again at least. Jamie will try and get to the end on them tyres, you'd imagine. This will help Lucas Roth out. The pack is spread out a bit and they'll all try and come back and be bunched up together. And we'll all try and get into this race. Go on, Joe.
Just realised Dan's on soft tyres. So
yeah, so Dan will have to pit again, unfortunately for him. Which kind of sucks for Dan, because if Jamie can get them tyres to the end, that's going to really, really hurt for Dan, isn't it?
Yeah, because he may get a fight with Jamie at the start and get past him with having the better tyre compound, but it won't pull him far enough in front unless there's another safety car, and they both decided to pit for him to do anything.
I don't know why this is being a little bit. We might have to redo this a little after the race. But Joe, just talk us through Dan's feelings. Obviously, he knows he's won race 1. He's got a lot of work to do in this second race. Is he thinking of the championship at the minute? What can you tell us?
Yeah, so I mean, Dan's obviously quite focused in party. Definitely wants this championship and prepared to give it his all.
What is he doing though, Joe? He seems to be taking it nice and steady from Jamie at the minute. It doesn't seem to be fighting too hard.
No, well, I think he wants to play the safe game, but it's not going to ruin his own championship. While still fighting. I mean, I'm not 100% on it all, because it is quite stay in the zone, stay concentrated, but I mean, that says enough to me that he wants it.
Yeah, it does indeed. So for Dan here in this one, what can he do in terms of getting closer to big boy Brazier? He's probably got enough done. Joe, what you'll have to do is invite the podium in for a chat at the end, including Forsey. You may just have to put something on the Discord to make sure Forsey's settings are correct for the party. I know he's not had them right in the past in terms of allow to be heard, or we'll sort that out. So Dean Wysocki missed the first race. No 100th appearance for Bozzy Boy tonight. Hopefully he'll be back to make that one later on. But we've got 9 runners left. And Joe, talk us through Gary tonight, because he has not had a night to remember, really, has he?
I mean, I think he's struggled. He's done better than me, but it's not been his night. I've not really heard him in party. I don't know if he was in my parties, but yeah, definitely he'd definitely want more than this.
Yeah.
But he's scoring points, and points are points to add up.
Points are
Not
points.
gonna be on it every night.
He'll finish top 3 pretty much, it looks like, in the championship. So that for him is something, again, another top 3 in a championship, another good set of results in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the top 3 positions, you should be proud of it no matter, or even top 10 or last, as long as you did your part and you tried your best.
Yeah, that's it. Craigie then got an extra point on the board for that race, which is brilliant to see for Craig E. As we are slowly actually being caught up to these appearances being absolutely bang on here. There we go, yours was right now, look, see, brilliant. As safety car still out on track, and it's been a long safety car. We're now at the halfway mark of this race, and that, Joe, has been something that we've, the medium tyre is going to sort of be better towards the end the longer this safety car stays out, isn't it? It's really going to help with this safety car period, the medium tyre compared to the softs. The softs, you feel, that got down 11 to 10 laps. Well, 11 to 10 laps isn't the end of this race, it's another 15, and Dan's got to use that medium tyre, so it's kind of worked out in the favour of Jamie at the moment.
Yeah, in some ways I don't quite understand Dan's decision in choosing softs to mediums, but then I suppose it is the faster. But then again, he was saying that it was good for 1 lap, and after that 1 lap he didn't like them, so I'm not sure on his choice to the soft tyres.
Yeah, so an interesting choice from Dan there then, and definitely one that Dan's going to have to look at in his strategy. And with the pack being closed up, Joe, you'd feel that for Dan, he'd be better off getting them tyres off under the safety car and getting the mediums on. The problem is the safety car ends this lap. We've got all the stats up to date, so they are all absolutely bang on. And we are about to go racing yet again. Your mic keeps going off and on. It's jumping a bit, Matt. Hopefully it's not jumping now. Forzy, if you can hear me and you do get a podium, make sure that when you join the party, you set your party settings to allow voice to always be heard if you're in for an interview a little later on. As we are then, Joe, about to go racing. Half of this race left to go, and it's Big Boy Brazier who was gone, but Dan sticking with him. Dan is on the better tyre at the minute, and this is the battle for the championship. The problem is does Dan commit early, or does he sit behind Big Boy Brazier? Well, he's trying to get the job done, goes around the outside, gets pushed very wide, comes back onto track, has Forzy up his inside now, manages to tuck back in. That from Dan, very, very risky.
Yeah, I mean, he's in this situation now where he's got to put it all into it to get something out of it. And he could risk it on the softs to the end, but it would be a mad risk.
Gary and Smokey Devil and A. Smith. No, that's A. Smith. It's all four of them. It's Gary, A. Smith, Smokey and PN have all had a moment in the first sector, so not sure what's happened there. Sutty on the back of 40. Dan taps the back of Jamie. Manages to keep going at the moment then. And so far so good. If you are Big Boy Brazier, you lead this race, but you need to outscore Dan here then. And Dan is right on the back of Jamie. They've already gapped Forzy by a second. He's under pressure from Sutty Apex. And Joe, you said them medium tyres in race one take a while to get up to temperature and get to where they need to be. That might be what we're seeing here with Jamie Brazier's tyres.
Yeah, I mean, after a few laps, they're nice, and I think part of it to me was the setup I chose, and if I'm right, they're using maximum downforce, which will help get those medium tyres to perform nicer in the corners, quicker hopefully.
PN Motorsport now on the back of Smokey Devil. We'll just jump to this battle. That is, look at PN, you hear him lifting off. He's not wanting to go around the outside of Smokey Devil at 130R. Still no DRS for Unorthodox, but a great run through the final part of the track. Sutty's under pressure from Lucas Roth in the background. Jamie's going to send Dan the long way, you'd imagine. We'll cut back to Sutty in a moment. Yellow flag sector 3. That is A. Smith once again. Lucas Roth on Sutty Apex. Nothing happens there. Dan still fighting Jamie. A. Smith into the pits. He's gone for new tyres. And Joe, this battle out front is absolutely epic at the moment.
100%. I mean, Dan wants it. You can see that he wants it, but Jamie's keeping it tight. And what's that doing to Dan's tyres? Is that going to hurt them more for the start of this, meaning that he's going to have to change tyres? And then what's that going to do to Dan?
Exactly right, as here comes Jamie, then Dan, then Forzy. There's Sutty Apex and Lucas Roth. Gary's in P6, Smokey's down in 7th. He's still got PN Motorsport on the back of him as they come through Degner 1 and into Degner 2. A. Smith leaving the pit lane now, and here comes then Unorthodox, still on the back of Big Boy Brazier. Half a second though the gap now, so Jamie this lap has just stretched his legs a little bit.
Yes, maybe Dan's backing off a tiny bit to cool those tyres down.
Dan has 45 wins. He's got 9 this season. He's absolutely dominated F2 this year. And Dan just through 130R, just backing off a bit. Like you say, Joe, is he just letting his tyres cool down to go for another push? Drop back to his teammate, Lucas Roth, who's on the back of Sutty. Nearly ploughs into the back of Sutty Apex. You've then got PN on the back of Smokey Devil. And PN, as Big Boy Brazier, sets the fastest lap of the race. So Jamie's tyres coming to him. And if Dan's are anything to go by, 10 laps he did. A couple of laps behind the safety car. Dan's pretty much halfway through his tyre life.
Yeah, hopefully that safety car didn't do much to those tyres, and hopefully can drag them a fair few more laps, but in some ways in 3-4 laps, maybe 5, I'd consider going on to those mediums to get them up, and then towards the end of the race...
Oh! Sutty Apex has span right around and nearly goes backwards into Gary. And he's dropped down to P6. That is a scary moment for Gary 131. The poll has gone up for driver of the day. Get your votes in through you think deserves that. And Sooty Apex has had a huge moment there. And for PN, he's catching the back of Smoky Devil. Gary now gaining on the back of Lucas Roth as well. Dan just starting to lose time to Big Boy Brazier. Just a couple of tenths here and there. Let's go back to Gary. Not seeing much of Gary tonight. Within half a second of Lucas Roth, and he's on 6-lap old soft tyre, so his soft as well. You'd imagine Gary's got to come back in to do another stop. For Dan, though, it's about when does he pit? Because Forsey and Lucas Roth, you'd imagine, would get past. That is A. Smith. And the ART cars have had a torrid night. Kramer. Oh, we've lost A. Smith. A. Smith is retired from the race, and that then is another safety car.
The main question is, does Dan come in?
That is the biggest question. I imagine Dan will come in, but he has to do 6 lap. In fact, he's on his 6th lap. So A. Smith, 9th place for him in this one. It'll give him a few more points, only 2. I don't think that's going to be enough to beat ART neither. So he pits. Sooty Apex has been a man who's been allowed to pit then. And with 11 laps still in this race, this will allow Sooty the chance to maybe get to the end on them soft tyres. But safety car, Jamie's got to go mediums to the end. What does Dan do? Dan has to put the mediums on.
I mean, it's a nice time to put the mediums on in some ways. You can get them warmed up and then towards the end of the race, push and pull Jamie in. Whether it will be enough, who knows? But we'll find out.
We will find out indeed. Jamie from Unorthodox. Jamie, I think, has to stay on this tyre. Dan, we know, has to use the mediums. So Dan, we know, has to race this medium tyre. Jamie, he is all good to carry on till the end of this race. The bonus for Dan is it's safety car. So Forsey and Lucas Roth will have to be slower than Dan at the moment, or have to be at the same pace as Dan. So they can't go flying through to catch Dan like they could under the safety car.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he doesn't, he's going to come out. Where do you think he'll come out?
If he pits now, he's going to come out, I think, right, so Dan does pit. I reckon Dan's going to come out behind Smoky Devil and PN. It's a long old pit stop. There goes Forsey. Here comes Lucas Roth and Gary. They will sail past. There they go. Dan in, mediums on. Smoky Devil's coming into the chicane now. He's PN Motorsport. Good pit stop for Dan. But the problem is, look how slow he has to go. Saying that, Smoky Devil's not much quicker. He's in the pits, as is PN. So Dan will come out P5.
See, the huge bonus to this is that it's going to be a closed pack starting, so he can get. It could work either way. He could get through them nice and quickly, or it could ruin his race.
Yeah, exactly right. He's closer to Jamie as well.
Exactly, and he's not got slow racers in front of him. He's got nice, decent racers to get past, which could again provide a challenge, but it makes it safer for him.
Yeah, he's got to get past Gary and Lucas Roth and Forsey and Big Boy Brazier. Lucas Roth on his 100th appearance in this race. And Dan twice has been down the pack after his pit stops. Has to come back. Let's just go on board Smoky Devil, because Smoky Devil will be the last car to get on that safety car pack. That car sounds awful. I think he needs to downshift a couple of gears here. As it's been a tough race for Gary and his team, who could have stayed in the Constructors' Championship. But with Gary and A. Smith now having the best of nights, they're kind of going to lose out to not only Kramer, but Carlin as well. Carlin look like they're going to win this championship. has happened to these points here? Something's happened to the point standings, it would seem. That's because I'm on the wrong tables. Brilliant. I was looking at the wrong tables. They were wondering why the points wasn't working on the wrong table. So yeah, so ART needed good points to keep in this title fight with Colin to go to Australia in 2 weeks' time. Prema are almost out of it as well, but Prema are going to score well and might just stay in this championship fight in the constructors. For ART, they are pretty much done and dusted. 63 points you can score. Smithy's got 2, Gary's only down in 6th. Gary's pitted, so that's actually released unorthodox. So for Gary, he's been in the box yet again and gets himself ahead of unorthodox here then. He gets himself behind unorthodox. So Dan on fresh mediums doing the job at the minute. PN, Gary and Sutty will still catch up to the safety car pack. Joe, who's been the best driver for you tonight? Jamie, Dan, Forsey all had good races.
Yeah, they've all been great there. I think... Oh, this is a hard one. They've all obviously had their tiny bit of a moment, but they've also all been there when they need to be there, and they've stuck it on track and kept it consistent, clean.
As the boys slowly catch to the safety car, although Gary looked like he was a little slower there, must have wanted one more lap. So Gary's pitted then. Dan has to clear his teammate, who you rather feel will be a pretty easy driver to get past. Forsey's a very tough defender, and Jamie needs as many points as he can, so he's going to fight Dan hard. Gary back in the pits. Now, why is Gary back in the pits then? Team rolling out the soft tyre. Gary comes back in now. And the team are going to put on the soft tyre that's done 2 laps in this race. So Gary going to the end on softs.
Maybe he feels more confident on the softs and wants to keep the race going, and is happy with finishing 8th.
Get your voting for driver of the day in the chat, and yeah, maybe he's happy with finishing 8th. Soft tyre though, with other drivers on the soft tyre around him. The softs will do the end of this race, and this lap under the safety car as well will mean that 7 laps he'll have to on that soft tyre, although he's pretty much got to do racing laps to catch the pack. They're coming up to the hairpin now. So we're just awaiting this man, Gary 131, to get on the back of the pack. And then we will be there. Jamie versus Dan in this one. What do you see the outcome being in this race? Where do you think Dan's going to finish, Joe?
That's a hard one, because assuming Lucas Roth lets Dan through smoothly, being teammates, he's got to get past Forsey, and I don't think Forsey's going to be as kind. He's going to give that challenge, and for as long as Dan's behind other drivers, Jamie's rolling on in front and gaining that time, and it's that time that Jamie's gaining that then worries me to Dan catching up. Because Jamie's looked the overall fastest driver throughout the night, I feel. And when you've seen it, those two against each other, Jamie's pulled away more every time. So it's a hard one.
It is a hard one, and Gary being so far behind the safety car then has meant that the safety car will do another lap, and Gary's caught them at the chicane. In fact, no, what a late call that is. Well then, safety car in. Jamie's got to let the safety car get firmly into the pits. He's gone now. Did Forsey stay with him? Yes, Dan didn't stay with Forsey that well, though, I don't think, in the background, because Dan's nowhere near him. We go back racing. What a late call for the safety car to come into the pit lane then. So it's Jamie from Forsey, Lucas Roth, then on Orthodubs. Will his teammate let him through? Sutty Apex on the back of Dan. PM Motorsport, Smoky Devil, Gary 131. Just looking at Sutty's tyres, 10 lap old soft tyres, they may not have much life in them at the end of this race. What progression can this man make? When will his teammate let him go? Or is he thinking, of the team game and not wanting geeks to get swamped by going slower by PM Motorsport or by such Apex. Gary has got past Smoky Devil, or is getting past Smoky Devil, and that is back up into 7th place, and he can add after PN now. Lucas Roth and Dan. When does Lucas Roth decide to let his teammate go? Does Lucas Roth decide to let his teammate go? Lap 23 of 30. Jamie pulling away from Dan, and Dan is let through now and can now be on the back of Smoky Devil, of Forzy, as Lucas Roth drives into the back of his teammate there, as Smoky Devil is in the wall. Out of Degner 2 and gets going. So Jamie from Forzy, Dan 1.2. DRS will be open at the end of lap 26. So it will mean we'll have 4 laps of DRS in this race. And Dan here needs to make sure he keeps going. Lucas Roth has Keeks behind him with PM Motorsport. Gary 131 trying to stick with them as well. But for Dan, it's work to do now, Joe, in terms of catching down on Forzy. He's got to gain 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, he's got 1.2 seconds to Forzy, and then he's got another second to Jamie. It's all points count.
All points count, and like you said, Dan on that fresher medium tyre, so it's going to take a lot longer for Dan to get up to temperature, them tyres, than it is for Forzy and Jamie, who's got older, more worn tyres. It'll be easier to warm them up. Lucas Roth then, right behind his teammate here, and may have to get out the throttle instead of coming past him then, because Lucas Roth was right behind on Orthodox. Gary's got past PN, so Gary making great progression through the pack. As Dan has that gap to Forzy now, just under a second, and clearly feels he's the better driver through the S's than Forzy. But as Murray Walker once famously said, catching one is one thing, passing is another. Let me just work something out, Joe. Just keep your eyes on Dan and Forzy at the minute, because if it finishes like this...
It's just getting
right.
mega time through those.
Okay.
0.2 seconds away.
Yeah, he's 4 tenths off the back of Forzy now. Dan absolutely flying. It might be the end of this lap, actually, that the DRS becomes enabled. Smoky Devil, 8th place, will score points. Gary's trying to gain on the back of his old adversary in Sooty Apex towards Spoon Corner now. One just pushing the boat out a little bit. Dan trying to maybe take Lucas Roth with him here, and a double podium for Carlin could seal the deal in terms of the Constructors' Championship. Dan, though, on the back of Forzy, is he going to have a look into 130? Oh, it's a brave move. It's a brave corner to make a move on, and Dan doesn't think of doing it. One man who might think of doing it is not this man, because he's not close enough yet, but he is close enough as Sooty runs wide. Does he send one into the hairpin? No, into the chicane? No, he doesn't. Dan, though, a little wide there. Did Forzy squeeze him a little bit? Dan, either way, is still coming at him. Forzy's got the better run off the corner. Dan tucks in between Forzy and Lucas Roth, and that was a risky manoeuvre there. Could have took all 3 out of the race, but instead they carry on going, and Dan into turn 1 on the outside of Forzy. And like you said, Joe, Lucas Roth may let him through, but Forzy's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, Forzy's definitely put in the challenge there, but you can see in every move Dan's making that he wants it, and he's prepared to put that risk there to go for...
Oh, PN Motorsport, sorry Joe, he's had a spin around in the background behind Sooty Apex. That can allow Smoky Devil to gain on the back. Now back to Dan and Forzy. He is so close, he's taking Gary and Lucas Roth with him, and the fact that Dan just cannot get past Forzy. Through Degner 2 they come now, and up the hill towards the hairpin they go. Dan just cannot do anything about this high-tech car. He's going to look to the outside. He's got to go the long way around, because Forzy doing him an absolute kipper, and Keegs and Gary are both coming in here, and Gary on them fresher soft tyres could really put Dan under some pressure. Jamie in this one has gone and will surely have to hold on to this one.
Yeah, this is turning into a race where Jamie is going to be the defeat or gain of his own race. He'll be the one that determines it, because Forzy's just holding Dan up. Dan can't do anything while he's behind him, and he's losing so much time.
He can't indeed, as they come through 130. Dan gets so close to the back of Forzy, and Gary so close to the back of Keegs. Gary to the outside of Keegs, Dan to the outside of Forzy, and Dan muscles his way past around the outside. Lucas Roth, 3-second penalty for track limits. Gary now gets past him, and Dan does lose out to Forzy. And I think got DRS over Forsey there, he does. But look at the F2 car of Forsey trying to still commit to Dan. Here comes Gary as well. Forsey to the outside, Dan. Oh no, was he off there? I'm not sure. Bit of lag for Dan there. Not sure if he was off or not. So it's the Apex into the pit. And Forsey has to now tuck in behind Dan. He's got Gary with him once again as well.
Yeah, it's all getting very exciting and they're all really close together. Maybe this will change a few places for them all.
Indeed. Only one vote in the chat at the minute for who you think should get driver of the day. Guys, girls, get your votes in. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Dan has started to gap Forsey, and Gary now is on the back of his old adversary as well. He's had a few fights with Forsey this season. It'll be nice to speak to Gary a little later on. Gary will patiently wait to try and get past Forsey then, but Jamie 5.8 ahead of Dan. He has checked out up front, and you have to say, Joe, that Jamie here, like you said a moment ago, it's his race to lose now.
100%. 6 seconds behind with, well, Dan's 6 seconds behind. Jamie's gaining time every single lap. Dan's just gotta keep him on keep his second place.
Dan, out of Spoon, has still got Forsey in that DRS range, and Gary's within DRS range of him, and Lucas Roth's in DRS range of Gary. The problem for Lucas Roth, he's got that time penalty. Gary very wide at 130R, now comes to the chicane, hits the brakes, he's going to look to the outside of Forsey, can't get it done. Forsey gets that place back. This is helping Dan just pull away ever so slightly. Now, who's got DRS? The rear wing of Forsey opens, and it does for Gary, and it does for Lucas Roth. And Gary, close enough with DRS, is he going to sail down the outside with it? No, he's not, because Forsey will answer back. Dan then keeping it cool, calm and collected. Lucas Roth looking up at the inside of Gary, 131, and what a battle at the end of this race. Final round in 2 weeks time at Melbourne, Australia, Albert Park. It's 2 weeks because there's no one here to stream next week, and we always enjoy streaming our races and events. We never do them behind closed doors. And in 2 weeks time as well, or a week on Thursday, ACC, that's taking a mid-season break as Gary very wide on the gravel and has just lost a bit of time to Forsey there. Mid-season break in ACC, Catalonia. Dan Davis will be back live in 2 weeks time to bring you the action of that one, as it's been Bentley win all three races at the moment. Emo Guy and myself with the first two to take the wins, but this is F2 and this is about unorthodox maybe winning a 6th championship here at Simplay Motorsport, becoming a 4-time constructors winner as well. Yellow flag, we've lost Smoky Devil, who's retired from this race, and another safety car, Rabbit Joe.
Well, this changes everything.
If you're Jamie, do you pit for soft tyres? Do you risk it?
Honestly, I don't think he's got enough time to go into the pit and come out in a reasonable distance of Dan.
Well, there is only one way to find out. As Sutty Apex comes past Smoky Devil, there's only one way to find out. Does Dan want that fastest lap point? That's the problem as well. As Jamie carries on his way, what does Dan do? Dan carries on. Gary carries on. Forsey carries on as well. I think Gary's got to give that place back to Forsey. I'm not sure if Forsey was pitting or not. Caught Gary out. Lucas Roth carries on. This helps Keegs with his fuel. Should get plenty of fuel to the end. PN, what's he going to do here then? Will he carry on his way? No, he's going to pit. Sutty Apex and may get a chance to catch the back of PN Motorsport. And Joe, this has got to be a very quick safety car. We may get one racing lap.
Yeah, I mean, well, can we finish on a safety car?
I'm not sure the game will register it. I'm not too sure. It can in the real world, but in terms of on the game, I don't know. If anybody in the chat knows whether you can finish behind the safety car on the game or not, please let me know. PN coming out the pits and he's out well in front of Sutty Apex. Can the race finish behind the safety car? Well, it will normally wait for the pack to catch back up.
The only concern is PN's 58 seconds behind, and that's a good lap and a half.
He's where are these? So PN's coming down through the S's now, and these are coming up to Spoon. By the time these go across the bridge, PN will be coming under the bridge. So chat. not only vote for driver of the day, but also let us know if this game allows you to finish the race behind the safety car. As here we go, look, these are coming over the bridge, and PN, look, is just coming under it. There you see Sooty Apex just coming under the bridge as Big Boy Brazier is just going over it. Safety car's in this lap. A one-lap safety car. It's packed the bunch up, and we go racing for two. Wheel disconnected for Smoky Devil. Oh, what a shame. Jamie really stopping the pack, really slowing it down to let the safety car go. Go on, son, says Welshie, as Lucas Roth makes his 100th appearance, and Jamie goes now. Dan doesn't stick with him, and this is then for the championship. 2 laps to go in this race. Sooty and Kramer trying to stay in the Constructors' Championship as well. Carlin trying to win it. And Dan trying to stick with Jamie. And he's got a good restart as Jamie, but Dan's still there.
Yeah, Dan's definitely sticking it with him. He's not falling back. He's just got to do everything he can, take advantage of any move he can make, but also maybe think about making those moves that have got the risk but may give him the reward.
Dan then, 2/10 as the yellow flag sector 1. Sooty Apex has had another off. We're on lap 29 of 30. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. A week break here at Simplay Motorsport, and Dan within a 10th, within 2/10 now of Jamie Brazier. Looks to the outside to tuck underneath of Jamie. Jamie's too wise for that move from an orthodox, and here comes Dan then, really putting the pressure on Jamie Brazier now. This for the championship, and Welshie in the chat, he knows what it's like to fight Jamie for a title, and Jamie's fighting to hang in this championship. Dan doing everything he needs to do to keep in this fight with Jamie Brazier, doing everything he needs to do to win this championship at the moment. Back down the pack, Forsey well ahead of Gary by a couple of tenths. Keegs just over a second behind. There will be no DRS till the end of this race. It's going to be pure pace to the end. And here comes Dan into the chicane, looks on the inside. Oh, he's hit Jamie! Round he goes, he's hit Big Boy Brazier. A very optimistic move from Unorthodox here, and it has put him P5. Now will Lucas Roth back off and let his teammate have that place back, or will he attack the back of Gary? But Dan there with a very optimistic move.
I mean, in some ways he needed to make that optimistic move, and he just had to hope this time it didn't work out. But would he do it again if he had that opportunity?
That's the question, isn't it? Would he do it again if he had that opportunity? This, though, for Big Boy Brazier, means a lot. It means an absolute massive amount. It's actually still not enough if it stays as it is.
Championship for him, or does this take it down to next week?
Week after, yeah, exactly that. Either way, Dan will get past Keegs because of Keegs' 3-second penalty. Keegs trying to fight the back of Gary and Forsey. They're well behind Jamie, and I'm sure Jamie will have some harsh words to say about that. As Gary and Lucas Roth and Forsey all fighting till the very end here. This may keep Kramer and ART maybe in the constructors' fight against Carlin. But very optimistic there from Unorthodox. Sooty's only at the hairpins. We've got a while to wait. Here comes Lucas Roth on Gary 131. Doesn't want to get that move done. Dan needs to hope and pray that he doesn't lose half a second to Lucas Roth. But for round 18 of the season, it's going to be Big Boy Brazier who takes the win in the fastest lap. Great result for Jamie Brazier. Forsey and Gary a second and a third. Lucas Roth will come away with P5 on his 100th appearance. What a shame for him. PM Motorsport coming down for P6. For PN Motorsport then, great result for him nonetheless, and we just await Sooty Apex, who will cross the line P7. Joe, get the top 4 in for a chat, because I can tell you now, Unorthodox is your Formula 1 champion. He won't know it yet, so we'll just hold off and wait. Unless he's got the stream on. Jamie Brazier voted the driver of the day by the game. Get your final votes in for driver of the day. Hopefully Jay will get the top 4 in. And Carlin and Pramer are still in this constructors fight. And it's going down to the wire in that one. So no title yet for Lucas Roth and Dan. Are we getting the top 4 in, Joe?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find them.
If you go on, if you go on play, Big Boy Brazier, Gary, Forzy, and Dan. I'll get Forzy in because I don't know if you've got him.
Yeah, I can't. Dan's joined, it says. And did you say Gary?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Dan's not yet in the party.
There we go.
So we just await for these boys to get in. Jamie, Forzy, Gary, and Dan. It was actually Dan that took the fastest lap there at the end. So actually Dan gains the extra point. Forzy, just make sure your party settings are set to always allow voice to be shared. And we'll start with this man then. Gary131, who's had a... well, describe the night to me, Gary.
Terrible.
Was it your finest display in a car, was it that?
Every move I went for, someone shut the door and I just, it was just up and down, and yeah, I don't like the track, had no practice, and that's what you get, I suppose.
It's probably confirmed now that you will be P3 in this championship. You go to Albert Park in 2 weeks' time, final round of the season. I bet you can't wait to sort of get this one over and done with.
Can't wait to get to a decent track and have some good racing.
Nonetheless, though, mate, still in the constructors' hunt, so that's a positive.
Yeah, if my teammate can sort of, not get in trouble, then yeah.
Albert Park in 2 weeks' time, like I say, decent track. What can you do around there?
Yeah, hopefully get a couple of podiums, keep it clean, and yeah, I know I can drive that track. Don't really need any practice around that one, to be fair. I think everyone knows the ins and outs of Albert Park, so yeah, it should be a good evening's race.
Well, we'll let you get back to it, Gary. Well done tonight, and best luck in 2 weeks' time.
Cheers, boys. Well done.
And we've got Forzy in the chat, and Forzy, do you have that change made? Not sure if Forzy can hear us. So what we'll do then is we'll just go to Jamie Brazier, and Jamie, a first place tonight, but it wasn't to be in the championship as Dan takes it by a couple of points. But a good race for yourself. You had good pace tonight.
Yeah, so I felt I had good pace. I felt I had a bit of a pace advantage over Dan. So we were trading faster slaps, and staying in the sprint. I was ahead and just made a mistake near the end, and in the feature I had an advantage over him, right, and then it was just a bit of a battle for the last 2 laps when the safety car came out.
You must have been thinking, what a cheeky bugger at the end there, eh? You did well to hang on to that one.
Yeah, it's because normally on the game it won't do it. It won't put a safety car out within the last five laps, and then all of a sudden it puts a safety car out, and the pack hadn't even caught right up. So I don't know whether Michael Massey was the race director, because PN and Sutty, I think, were halfway around the circuit.
If Michael Massey was the race director, I think you'd still be in the championship fight, Jamie.
Yeah.
Either way, we won't get into that debate. Either way, it's been a good night from yourself, great pace. Driver of the day from the game. The fans have also gave you driver of the day. Just sum up the season. Not enough for Dan. Obviously, missed a couple of races. Not enough for Dan in the end.
No, not enough for Dan. And say perhaps if I'd been able to make Bahrain and Singapore, things might have been different. But it is what it is. Well done to Dan on winning the championship, and got a few victories and had some pretty good racing in the F2s. Pramer
still in the hunt for the constructors. It's a big ask, but they're still in the hunt. Give it your all at Albert Park, I imagine, for you and PN.
Oh yeah, so elbows out. after the last round at Canada, I thought I've got to get my elbows out, knowing that I wouldn't be at Singapore. So I thought I've got to get my elbows out and make a few dives and not give up positions so easily.
Well, well done tonight, Jamie. Are you going to get my vote for driver of the day, Joe?
Yeah, I've got to give Jamie my driver of the day vote today.
There you go, Jamie. So a clean sweep from the fans, the game, and myself, and Joe, the commentator's driver of the day for yourself. Congratulations on that one. Is Forzy there?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Did you manage to get that setting changed?
I think I did. I hope I did.
Right, hopefully so. Either way, we'll keep it short just in case not. 2 podiums tonight. Happy with that?
Yeah, I was struggling so badly on this last part of the race. I was using 16 lap old mediums. When the safety car came, I put the car in AI mode, but it accidentally took me to the pit, so I had to quickly come out of the pause. And then that's hence why Gary was like kind of side by side with me, because I didn't want to pit because it didn't make no sense. So, and I saw Dan spun off. I had to quickly avoid him because it was everything happened so quick, and then Gary was on the side of me, and then it's been a good race. 2 podiums. I don't know how many podiums I've got now. So
I'll configure that one out for next week. Put it in the Discord.
thank you.
Either way, great night from yourself. Been a good season. Looks like P4 cemented. Maybe a fight with you and Gary for P3 at the end. Possibly a fight between you and Gary for P3 at the end. But either way, good season, and you're carrying that momentum into ACC as well on a Thursday night.
Well, yeah. I mean, I noticed I've been getting lots of fourths, fifths, fourths again. With ACC, I'm trying to be realistic. I know I got lucky with 2 fourths in Silverstone, and I think Paul Ricard, and I'm trying to be realistic. The Porsche is a bit of a handful to drive, so I just have to do what I can. I could probably get into the top 10, but let's just see how it goes. I'm still doing testing with the Porsche, so see if I can get it right to my driver's level, like driver's standard. But it's going good so far.
Well, best of luck, buddy. Obviously, we will see you in a week and a half's time on ACC, and then back in 2 weeks' time for the final race of the F2 season. But well done.
Thank you so much.
And we're joined now then. He's never won a championship that's not GT. He failed in Clios. You remember he ran out of fuel. He failed in touring cars because he picked the Astra. Unorthodox 16 is the Formula 2. Sorry, not quite the Formula 1. He's not at the elite level. He is the Formula 2 Drivers' Champion. Dan, you've finally done it. You've done it on a different game to Project Cars. Bar that lunge at the end, you can put it to bed.
Well, you had to have a go, didn't you? You had to have a go. I mean, fair play to Jamie. He seemed to have the setup over me. I think I might have gone the wrong way with setup. But either way, I'm happy with that. Happy to prove that I can win something without the name GT in it. And you gotta go for it on the last lap, haven't you? Especially on that, especially in that opportunity. Jamie was just lightning everywhere else. I had one sniff up an opportunity and just misjudged it massively. But either way, it feels good to win another title.
6 times you've won a championship now. 4 ones that really count. 2 that are questionable. But either way, you're a 6-time champion. It's another one in the bag. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. 6 is a good number. But I believe 5 of them were genuine. Maybe one of them was given to me. But
GT5.
But no, 6 is good. And I wanted to give Jamie a hard time towards the end of that race. It would have been boring just to follow him home. But you got to go for most race wins as well. So I went for it after the mess of qualifying. I think everybody messed up.
Yeah.
No, it was great. Sutty and Keys in the chat as well. They were keeping me entertained, and it's been a great season. F2s. I've thoroughly enjoyed these cars, and I hope that when we go to 2022, we drive these cars again, and you'll see me trying to retain the title in the F2.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will indeed. I'm sure we'll have to come to some agreement for what me and you will be running. So obviously, whatever you don't run, I seem to race, and vice versa. But Dan, congratulations on the 6th championship. Rabbit Joe, it's been a pleasure to have you in the commentary box tonight. Just sum up this evening for us.
I mean, besides my racing, it's been great watching everyone it's been interesting coming into the commentary box, so thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
And everyone's done a great job, so I'd just like to say well done to everyone.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, I'd be delighted to have you in the commentary box again in the future. Maybe we'll have to see what happens. Unorthodox 16 is a 6-time champion here at Simplay Motorsport. He is your F2 champion. And will he make the step up to Formula 1 next time around and take on the likes of me and Green Pies? We'll have to wait and see. But either way, Dan is your champion. Commiserations to Forzy, Gary and Jamie Brazier. But congratulations to them on their podiums tonight. We'll be back in a week and a half's time. Dan, no stream next week due to the fact that me and Dan are both away on family and work commitments. So ACC will be back on the 1st of September, 8 p.m. BST. Dan Davis on Orthodox 16 will be bringing you the action from Catalonia as we enter the back half of that season. And I'll be back in the commentary box on the 4th of September for the final round of the F2s. Albert Park, Australia. What a perfect setting to what has been a fantastic season. Also, next Friday, there'll be nothing next week. We had planned for something, but due to work and family commitments, we can't get it out there. Next Friday, the 26th of August, why don't you pop on the Discord or the Facebook page or the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook group. Wish Simplay Motorsport a happy 2-year birthday as it is growing and growing. And we couldn't do it without the support of you guys in the chat and the drivers here and all the admin team on who work, drive, race, watch Simplay Motorsport. You guys are all the best. That's all we've got time for though tonight. We'll see you on the 1st of September as we're getting closer to Christmas and we're getting closer to season 7. See you next time.